Hey, welcome to the mother freaking Offspace podcast. I'm your host with the MF most, Chuka Offer.
And I'm your co-host. I said that in the wrong way, but honestly, it's been 100 episodes and I just fucked up for the first time. I mean,
more like
I just messed up for the first time ever. But it's all right. It's your favorite co-host.
As it go?
Boy Wonder.
Yes, sirski.
El Nino.
Yes, sirski.
That guy.
Yes, sirski.
As it go offer. What's up, my boy? How you doing today?
You know what? Let's just go ahead and start off with the dab because it's been 100 flipping episodes. And to start off episode 100 first, I'd like to do a toast with my brother.
Hey, what are we
More
toasting
life,
to?
more opportunities, more blessings, and just for making it to fucking 100 episodes. Because realistically, like, when we started this, we have real dreams, we have deep dreams, which we'll get into all of this in a second, but it's like, truly, with some of the lows, the ups and downs, and like whatever that you deal with on this path, like there were moments that, like we were just talking about before the cameras were rolling, like there were moments that for real, I thought like the Offspace could be over with, just being real. And so like I'm just happy in general that we got here, but we're gonna definitely front load a lot of Offspace memories and a lot of Offspace moments to start this podcast off. But for now, let's get into our past weeks and then heat checks, and then we'll Offspace it out, baby.
Kind of what we're doing, you know? My past week's been a tumultuous one. 2 weeks, really, because we haven't done a podcast in 2 weeks. So
I know.
I mean, that's what are we saying to people, you know?
Hiatus.
We got to talk to them. It's been a little bit for us. It's been a hiatus. It's funny enough because I know I'm supposed to be talking about my week, but Chuka showed me a memory from last year today about this time, and it was just like episode 50 dropped, you know? So the fact that we were on a hiatus, on a break, whatever, quote unquote, and 52 weeks later, we did 50 episodes. This is the 50th episode since then. It's like, come on now.
Wait, what is...
Come on.
Is that consistency?
I don't know. You tell. Funny you say consistency. We're going to come back to that later for sure.
For sure.
But my past 2 weeks have been good, man. Like I said, they've been challenging ones because, again, like without going too much into just my own personal business, I've been fighting thoughts, bro, and I've just been trying to like process things, and I've been going through a lot on situations that are out of my hands, which hurt the worst because of that. But because of being placed in these situations and going through like a lot of mental strife and just tough shit, I told myself I wanted a W, right? And so I decided, what can you get a W in without some luck, you know? Things that you can control. So I decided to tackle some of my vices to start off 2021. And shouts out to mom listening to this podcast. I'm not going to say too much, but, you know, I'm doing pretty good on becoming the man that I know I want to be, especially that inspires people moving forward to be able to fight any of their demons and fight anything that really is like hard challenges. Because, you know, the things I'm trying to tackle now are things that have been chasing me for years. So it's like if I could do it, anybody could do it. So,
and it's just...
I said that so cryptically, but I'm hoping that the viewers really got anything out of that.
No, you're good. And I'll expound upon it a little bit, but not in just the personal with you. But it's just like, Esgo is somebody like we're giving not only flowers this episode, we're giving bouquets, we're giving everything for the shit that we deserve here.
Yes, sir.
Esgo's somebody I know that has always been very much like straight on the straight and narrow of his path. And what I mean is he doesn't deviate much at all. And it's hilarious to me because of the fact that I try to get this nigga to deviate so much. Like, just try to get this. I be making up narratives, just everything, and this nigga always stand on his, sometimes, too straight and narrow path, but whatever. And the fact is, like, he's somebody that's always preached that you can do whatever you want in this world, and you can be whatever you want in this world. And I've always, like, just respected the fact that through thick and thin, and honestly, even through this blast bad patch that he had, I felt honored to be able to help him through like a really sad time in his life, because it's usually that nigga helping me through like really sad times in my life. And so I definitely want to shout you out there, definitely want to shout out the mental fortitude, definitely want you to feel seen and heard, just because I do see you going crazy out here, and I see you just seeing, you know, things that are wrong with yourself, not throwing a pity party for yourself, and just cracking into them and trying to get better. Because at the end of the day, nothing happens overnight. Nothing happens quickly, right? It's all an everyday process. But like so many, it's funny that, and this will be the last thing I say here before I get into myself a little bit, but it's like, it's funny how we try to act so much like everything in the world is secret and everything in the world is just like this, that, when these motherfuckers,
how do they do that? How do they do this?
The rich,
like, Exactly.
It's like whether it be the rich people, whether it be, which there's a lot of stuff that goes into capitalism. Cool. Y'all aren't gonna rain on my fucking parade on episode 100, nigga. But anyways, but like whether it be the like riches, whether it be health and fitness, whether it be body goals, whether it be just like whatever levels of success you really want to get. These people have been telling us exactly what to do every single time since the beginning. It's just people forget that doing those things is really a journey, and it really takes work, effort, and time. You just have to get a little bit better each day. You don't have to transform into the guy that can dunk tomorrow. But if you jump marginally higher each day, you keep working your legs and you keep getting real game minutes when it be jumping activities like whatever, eventually, if you have the aptitude to, you will dunk.
And
it goes
I think
into
what helps too is the fact that if you know that you're staying consistent, you're doing the shit that you need to, it's nice because over time you'll look at what you've done, even if you start to lose the motivation, even if you start to fall off. Over time you'll look at yourself and you'll be like, I've come a long way. And that starts to be its own inspiration where you didn't even have to get it out of nowhere. Like, you remember, I really put time into this. Like, I looked at myself probably the top of 2019, and I was just like, bro, I was trying to pull myself out of like not doing the best and like turn my life around, and I started going so crazy, bro. Honestly, I felt like I was Bruce Wayne for a minute, and it couldn't be stopped, type shit. And then this, that, and the third things hit, whatever. But ended up looking at it now, and it's like everything I'm doing now doesn't seem as hard because I've already kind of gone through that before, and I'm only trying to do it better. So I'm never trying to let myself get tripped off the little things.
And personal anecdote there as well, since I mean we're gonna talk our shit this episode. My nigga, it's episode.
I think we're going for 100 minutes. That's what we're trying to.
We're gonna see if we can get 100 minutes in for sure. But we're gonna try. At 7. We taking shots at points, so we might have to like dial back. But we'll see. We'll see if we'll make.
It's gonna be 80 minutes for begging for
like this. But anyways, like dog. Exactly what you were saying, but going into myself. That's why like. There can be so many plays that people want to get into, whether it be like race or just like whether it be financial situations and all of that can be built off of the next thing I'm about to say. But like when we speak on this podcast, especially me, myself, and I know you, we speak from our perspective, from things we've gone through, things we've seen, things we've lived for the most part, right? Or things we've learned from others, because we're both people. And I think this is how you get the furthest in life, is we're both people that I think consider ourselves sponges. Like, we feel like if we can learn from anybody anywhere, then we will try to learn from them, right? And like add it to your arsenal, so that you can get better.
For sure.
But I mean, the thing about like grief, pain, suffering, like being down and like all of this shit, like, bro, said it on this podcast 1,000 times, I'm going to continue to say it. 2020 was the best year of my life. 2021 is going to be the next best year of my life.
Every year so on.
Every year forward is going to continue to be the best year of my life. You know why? Because like I've seen myself at the edge of the ledge. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen myself at the bottom of the ocean. I've seen myself at the bottom of the fucking pit, And so like knowing how low I've been before, how much I didn't want to be here, and how much I've really fucking gone through, and to see where I am now, I could be in all the debt in the world. Like I could have my little flab come back because I took a couple weeks off for my birthday. You know what I'm saying? I could have little shit happen to me that a lot of people would freak out and be like, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna do this? And blah, 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 blah. And I can smile every fucking day and still look forward and be like, this is the greatest life I'm living. I'd rather live nobody else's life and be so happy because I've seen how fucking far I've come. I know how possible it is to go further, and I'm going to continue pushing because that's all you can do in life. Every day you can get a little bit better and you can keep pushing. But a wrap up of my last couple weeks since we have taken this hiatus is I had a cracking New Year's.
2 weeks of hiatus.
I know,
I'm
right?
sorry, I still can't get over that, but go on.
Right? Never mind, let me not get into our bag yet. But like, bro, like cracking New Year's, cracking first, that was my homegirl Bree's birthday.
Did we not talk about any of these?
I think we already talked about some of this, but fuck it, these niggas gonna have to hear it again. And then going into like my birthday, amazing, spent it with wonderful people, and I'm just giving you all a fast forward, and I kind of gave myself like late December, about holiday time with Christmas and everything, I was like, Chuka, you're about to go. You have so many events, activities, and like whatever bullshit planned for the next couple weeks. You're basically about to go on a bender and then zero dark 30 it. I know that sounds crazy to say it, but it's like
the holidays will get the best of people fucked up, especially when your birthday's around the corner too. It's just the extended holidays. So it's like you didn't even stand a chance.
Nigga, I had holiday basically for 2 weeks straight. Exactly. So it was like,
and I'm celebrating your birthday with you. I'm over here like, bro, I'm going through it too. So
you feel me, bro?
I'm not doing shit till after. Mountain kicked my ass afterwards. Try and run up that shit.
What, nigga? And so like, I want to just thank everybody that I've seen. I definitely went to the open sessions this last weekend too with my dog Stefan, the Neutral family, and all of the homies out there, whether it be GQ, whether it be Neutral. Your shouts out to all of them and all the people I saw there. Shouts out to B Ward, Braxton. I wear a lot of his stuff on this podcast, and I'm going to continue to promote because that is A, somebody that I really believe in, but B, somebody that I also like genuinely like their product. Like once again, we promote what we genuinely like. C, shout out to Tahira, friend of mine who definitely gave me one of the sweetest gifts I've had in a long time for my birthday. So I mean, like, definitely love that with the Offspace hat. That's definitely my new favorite hat. And shout out to people that were able to come out to my birthday. Shout out to the 3 pillars, 3 queens, like Lauren, Alex, and Bree. I know so many people like to make so many fucking jokes about my relationship with my girlfriends, but those homegirls like genuinely hold me down in a real way, and I couldn't imagine this point of my life without them in it. And so I'm very, very happy and feel very, very blessed for them. Shouts out to the rest of my friends for just showing up and showing out like always. Before we get like too emotional, like no, fuck it. You know, like
I'm gonna take off my jacket, man.
It's hot.
I wouldn't even say it's hot. It's just like I feel like I'm radiating.
You feel me?
You know. It's episode 100.
It's episode 100. Shouts out to this dumbass nigga. No, I'm just kidding. Shouts out to my brother DJ. Even though this nigga was supposed to be on episode 100, but
yeah, we'll get into go ahead and scrap that one. We'll get him on for 101, 102. We'll see which one he comes on, but you know, 100 is happening right now, regardless of who's here or not. The boat could not wait any longer. It took off. So
like continue to shout out to all of those people that have been major players in my life. Shout out to Brandy always, but Brandy's always gonna be
damn
like,
nigga, who you shouting out, bro?
I'm going crazy, bro. Like what? I'm going crazy, bro.
It's like the Grammys. I'm about to start the music, nigga. I'm about to start the music,
bro. Try to kick me off stage, bro. I'm dressed like a prize fighter, bro. If they try to kick me off stage, they're gonna have to see these hands, nigga.
You're gonna fight somebody trying to get you off. Congratulations speech.
But no, shouts out to everybody for sure. Shouts out to my family and everybody that was able to hold me down during this.
5 minutes later, this man shouted out.
I still have time. Respect my time.
Respect my time.
No,
she is very fine to me.
No, but I'll say let's get into heat checks so that we can get into like our whole Offspace segment, so I can continue to be gushy.
So at 13 minutes, it's time to get into our heat checks. My heat check this week, because I'm not gonna lie, I've been a sad boy. So if y'all could piece together some of these pieces of the cryptic things I was talking about earlier. So for the last 2 weeks, or whatever, and my heat check comes from a beautiful young black Japanese artist named Joyce Wrice, and it's called So Sick, WRICE, and the song is just a very like upbeat vibe, but it's like, I feel like it's a breakup song type of thing, right? So take that as you will. If y'all enjoy pop or like R&B soul and things like that, the kind of fusion and things that's happened, which I feel like everyone should, because that's just beautiful, you will enjoy this music. So that's my heat check.
You know what? I've been listening to a decent amount of music. This isn't the typical excuse that I give y'all every single week, but guess what? Fuck it. You know why it's a fuck it? Because it is episode 100 of my own platform, and this is how I'm feeling for episode 100. Heat check. Draft day, Johnny Manziel. You know why? Because Drake was giving off that GOAT talk. He was talking crazy on there. And honestly, if Johnny Manziel wasn't a bust, which we are going to get into a conversation about that later, if he wasn't a bust, I would think that is arguably a top 5 Drake song throughout his whole catalog. That nigga went stupid. And you know what? I feel like we're about to go crazy. I feel like our lives are only on the up and up. And I feel like we have a platform that is going to be respected. We have a platform that's going to be heralded, and we have a platform that's going to, lift up the people we fuck with and the people that we really appreciate in our lives as well. So, Draft Day by Drake, because this feels like our draft day. Episode 100 feels like a draft day to me. Are we gonna be bust, or are we about to shine out?
I keep taking the notes on the time, but come on now. At the end of the day, we can't be bust. 13 minutes in started.
Yeah,
okay, but. Man, I'm not gonna lie. It's funny because seeing the parallels of what I chose for a song compared to what you chose for a song. But low key for this podcast episode, I'm feeling more on the draft day tip because right now I'm feeling unstoppable. So I'm hoping anybody listening to this tomorrow, the day after, in 2022, 2023, you feel the same way. More life for you.
Ignore the hairline. But anyways, I couldn't get it in, but he did. Handsome young man, yes, Sirski. It's that.
Ooh, don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself, man.
That shit sharp as hell, boy. But moving right along, we have just recounting Journey a little bit and everything like that. Isn't that hilarious? I'm trying to just take notes, bro, for maybe clips. Who knows?
All right.
That's funny as fuck.
Cool. All right, but yeah, so we got a little bit of current stuff to talk about, but
do you want to get into that?
This episode, we wanted to go ahead and do a good job about just diving into a reflection on the Offspace and some more open-ended just Offspace conversations between me and my bro. So,
you want to start with us, or do you want to end with us this episode?
I think we can go ahead and get out of the way some of the current events and things like that, just for like our listeners who want to hear that, knowing. So I can give you all the block right now, knowing that this is what we're going to be talking about for a little while. If you want to hear just more of the open-ended conversations, we will get there, but stay tuned and stick with us.
Yes, Sirski. And you know what? Before we get into current events,
I thought we were doing every 20.
Nah, we're gonna do this before current events. Then we're gonna do this before Offspace Journey. Then we're gonna do this.
He said he had to modify it, so we did.
Yeah, if we did it too many times.
Thinking about it.
No, I was thinking about it, bro. That drink a little strong. All right, so more life, more opportunities. Yes, Sirski. Woo! We good though. It's smooth. You feel me? Good patron. They call me El Patron. But anyways,
this man's hurting.
No, we. Anyways,
you know it's bad when you take it and then you start to sweat.
All right. Anyways, hopefully y'all can't see that on the camera, but
we should have done a mukbang. We might. Honestly, I kind of want to do a mukbang soon.
Let's do a mukbang. We almost could have done one.
If y'all are listening to this point, go ahead and let us know if you'd been interested in something like that. Because to be honest, we're going to make it regardless. But I just want to know if y'all would be interested.
That's the beauty of the Offspace. We just do what we want to do. Yeah. I hope that y'all fuck with it. But going into just some of the current events that have happened.
Your president's wilding. I can't say yours. Ours. For 2 more days.
I'm going to keep it music at first and then tie it into like the presidency and everything. Just because we're going to kind of knock out current events in a straight line. Yeah. Right? For once. But to keep it music-y to start, we've heard this many a times in the last 7 years that our brother has been locked down, but we are hoping that this is the current one. And with Rowdy being recently released, shouts out to Rowdy Rebel, then the news that Bobby Shmurda might actually get out by his mother, I believe was the one that broke the news this time, in February is something that we are all hoping for and something that we are all going to continue to look out for. So shouts out to Bobby. We can't wait to see what he does when he gets out here again. Moving right along from Bobby Shmurda, we have some more rap news that ties into the presidency with everything that's been going on as well. With all of the ups and downs and some of the legal stuff that we've been hearing that Lil Wayne has been dealing with, there are rumblings and rumors, pretty concrete, I guess, rumblings of Trump having Wayne, getting the documents together and having Wayne on the pardon list.
I just want to know truly what he did to get that. That's what you're on Donald Trump's mind right now when he's being impeached for basically it's like an insurrection, you know, that you're on his mind. What did you do for this man? But you know what? I don't know what happened there. I don't know anything there. Maybe he just, out of the kindness of his heart, looked at Lil Wayne and is like, you know what? I like you.
And truly
figure this out, because I don't want to see Weezy go down for like everything he's going through right now, especially the charges for all this shit. It kind of sucks because I don't want to. I know he's Lil Wayne, but at the end of the day, he's a young black man.
Young as hell black man.
Like, you can still get caught up, as society has shown you. So I'm hoping that he comes out of it the best.
Exactly. And I mean, like, all jokes aside, and however you may feel about, like, Wayne's dealings with Trump, or, you know, how everything in the world is so taboo now to the point that if you even say the name Trump, people's heads turn and they have to kind of, like, clock if you're a good person or not, which I feel kind of weird about, because at the end of the day, the election's over. We have to move forward. We have to watch out for those psychopaths, like the people that went to the Capitol. But once again, like, Joe Biden is the president. We are moving forward. Y'all need to get over yourselves. But just seeing the fact that Wayne could have been facing up to 10, you know, or maybe even more with the charges in the Fed case. And once, as we do know, and once again, I have no clue about the full-on case, and I don't want to put myself in there at all in speaking on this, but I will say, like, when you do know something at least about federal cases, is by the time the Fed comes for you, they've been working on this for a long time. Yeah. They have a pretty solid case. Yeah. They're never going to come for you unless they know they won, you know? So definitely happy to just hear that hopefully we're not going to see Wayne sit behind bars, and he will be straight regardless of what ended up happening there. But I mean, your dogs, I saw some of your people, you know.
Bro, when you said Fed case, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of fucked up, because the first thing that comes to my mind, have you seen the movie?
What movie?
You don't watch movies like that, so I feel like I'm talking to just like an unreceptive stump, and that's awful to say about my brother. You don't watch movies. I don't know what else to. Have you seen Molly's Game?
No.
And it's not even worth it. But if y'all know, then you know. The FBI weren't messing with her, so.
I'm not the best movie guy, unfortunately. I'm so sorry. But,
I'm sorry. I was sidetracked. He said, my guy.
No, your dude, Trump. He sent out the bat signal on January 6th.
Wrong guy. He must be. Yeah, I thought there was somebody behind me. He got the wrong dude. But go on. You got Trump, my ass.
Actually, we did recount some of these things because we put out episode 99 not too long ago. Like, I forgot. But
recount what?
Some of the ongoings, I guess.
Only thing I want to apologize that I've said on the Offspace recently and did mean, but it was a bad take, was Blake Griffin averaging the points he is right now. This man's not going to be the all-star I thought he was this year. Only thing I'm taking back. I don't know what else I could have said.
But moving along, I guess on like the Trump shit, like the main thing that we needed to talk about is he was actually impeached again by the House. Once again, it's going to go to the Senate, and nothing's going to happen, but that's fine.
Because he's out of here.
Yeah, because he's out of here in
2 days. Well, I guess
in 2 days now.
Time's about to turn, so a day.
Yeah, in about a day, and so that's one thing. But the interesting things in that situation was, hey, did you see the funny ass videos online? Because all of y'all niggas deserve this, by the way, of motherfuckers that went and stormed the Capitol of the United States.
Did I see it? I'm over here
searching for them, low key at this point.
Everything. So this is before shit went bad. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I don't know, but I think I was just out chilling. I might have been out getting lunch, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm enjoying my time out on lunch. You know, I go and like hike a trail and stuff too. And, you know, with good company, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. I come back, and the first thing I'm seeing when I get into my car is that niggas are storming. I can't say niggas, because that's not doing it justice. There are a lot of people are storming the Capitol. The capital of the United States of America. And in my mind, I was just thinking I'm living in like a simulation. Mm-hmm. This is a video game, clearly, because I didn't see enough videos of rubber bullets being shot and mace being sent and all these things. I know they started to come out later, kind of, but I didn't see enough of that going on, so I thought people were just trolling me. But then I really saw what was going on, so it's kind of crazy, man.
So my main thing though this week, since I know we had a good portion on it last week, which is my fault for not clipping because we had a pretty good back and forth about the everything going on in the Capitol. But the funniest thing I've ever seen is these motherfuckers being surprised that they can't fly planes. Like that you can't get on a fucking plane. Like you can't storm the Capitol of the United States.
There was, after the Capitol stormers and people who met up or whatever, honestly, I should say terrorists. If I'm going to be completely
They are domestic terrorists, 100%.
After the terrorists decided that they were going to casually go home because they have that random ability due to certain things that they were endowed with.
Some certain things
light pigmentation, I think. But after they decided that they wanted to go home, they went to the local airport, you know, and decided to catch a flight. However, lo and behold, terrorists can't get on planes. So they were on a no-fly list, and they were upset about it. They were outraged. Like, you know,
are crying.
Like most Americans who would be put on a no-fly list, I assume you'd be outraged, but not in this case.
Bro, they were hitting it. They were hitting it like Karen's being upset about it too. They're in there like, I have children, bitch. You decided to fucking storm the capital of the United States.
I'm just confused why they're not arrested on the spot right then.
Right?
Like it's just like go home. Like,
bro, did you see the news about the nigga? Because he was one of the more prominent ones.
The dude in like the animal code.
Not even him, like but the nigga that had the feet up on Pelosi's desk. One, if you
he got a year, but he's out on bail.
You understand? Stealing mail is a felony, right? Stealing mail is a felony. He had a hearing and was already released to go back home on house arrest at the moment while they figure out what's going on with him.
He's off of that soon.
Bro, he stole mail from Nancy Pelosi's office on camera. That's a felony. On camera.
Bro, more than that, didn't he steal like private pictures and things like that and stuff too and like whatnot? And it's just like, bro, the man, I think he got
These niggas are all about to get probation.
I think he got a year. But I'm hearing that a lot of these people are already kind of getting like bailed out. Because the money's good. Their money's good. Nothing. If their morals aren't, their money's good.
The money's straight. The wire hit for show. The lawyer for show got paid. The lawyer for show.
The Klan's been around for a minute, bro.
Klan has been around for a minute.
I'm pretty sure they got phones.
These niggas plugged into every federal agency. Let me stop.
They pay less taxes than Amazon, and you know Amazon's not paying much. So.
Oh my goodness.
I gotta stop before we get no sponsorships.
Bro,
Episode 1000. We just got our first sponsorship from Huggies.
No, one of the funniest things, and I'll let this be over with Trump since we're trying to just celebrate and talk about more positive shit. Even though we're laughing because this is funny shit at the end of the day.
Is it though, or is it just like wiping at our pain?
Nigga, did you see what Trump was rumored to say to one? Oh, yeah, and all you niggas who are upset. Well, yes, Trump lost his Twitter, he lost his Instagram, he lost all his accounts. Cool. Once this nigga like obviously gets his just due and goes through his goes through the trials, like all of this bullshit, whatever. Y'all have to, sometimes we have to be lighthearted. Sometimes we do. I understand this nigga was one of the shittiest presidents ever, and he is the shittiest president ever. Not one of, is the shittiest president ever. A piece of shit, all of this, cool. But it's like, bro, this is something that black people have had to do throughout our history, and that is laugh at our pain. Kevin Hart made a special laugh at my pain. So it's like, we have to be able to admit when shit is hilarious, bro. This nigga is the funniest person on the planet. No, one of them. Bro. He is one of the funniest.
He's not. I'll admit the comment was funny, but no, he's
this
not.
This nigga looked at Mike Pence and really said, you can either go down in history as a patriot or you can go down in history as a pussy. Yeah, bro. What the fuck? He can't be attention.
I'm not gonna lie. When a man makes a statement like that, he's sitting in his room pissed. He's on his last.
He's like this.
Going through it. He's look, I'm about to bully this man to help him.
If he doesn't help me,
nah. Like he was going through it, and rightfully so. I hope in these last 2 weeks or so, like not 2 weeks, in this last month and a half. 2 months that this man's really gone through all the stress that he's put the average American through for 4 years now.
Like what?
Just condensed. Because that's much needed. So, but moving forward though, we are on 27.
Yeah, but moving forward from Trump and everything, what else would we like to speak on current? I mean,
if you watched movies, bro, all I was gonna say was that there were some Zendaya specials out. And Euphoria Part 2 is coming out.
See, I want to watch
the Hunter Schafer.
I want to watch the Euphoria specials that they've put out so far. Because I haven't watched those yet. So those are still on my list, 100%. And then we have the more adult role that Zendaya has that has come out, which I saw a lot of backlash from. Which I don't want. One, it's like I understand, which I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No. You explain what the backlash was before you start saying what you understand and don't understand, so the viewers can know.
The backlash was.
I don't know if we saw the same backlash, but I think I saw some too. So.
I saw a backlash from people being upset that Zendaya was in more of an adult role, just because of how they view Zendaya and the.
That was the backlash.
Yeah, it was not.
I saw backlash that they say strong black lead and then it's Zendaya or something again.
Oh.
And I was like, I get it, but come on now, she's young. She's just getting roles and she's gonna keep getting a lot of roles while she's popping and
she's a phenomenal actress as well. What the fuck?
I'm saying she's a phenomenal actress in the height of not even the height of her career, just in the
she's
inception
getting
of her
to the
career,
prime. You know what I'm saying? She's not even in her prime.
She's just gonna keep on filling out all these roles.
But mine is more just because this is kind of how I feel about Ariana Grande personally. Yes, I've kind of transitioned my brain. Ariana is someone that's even older than me. So I have to just be real. like, yeah, you may be used to seeing people in younger roles, but you have to just get over the fact that people grow up.
There's a grown woman.
There's like a lot of people that you may feel weird about thinking about the fact that they are getting their back blown out. Like, they are doing the nasty things you think about doing. You know why? Because they're adults just like me and you. Just like there's a lot of people that probably look at Lil Chuka and think of like 12-year-old.
Bro, you are like, 3 years from 30. Bro.
I know, bro. But I'm saying in terms
I'm just messing with
Ariana's a year older than me, bro, and she looked 16 still. So I'm sorry that I felt a little weird. Like, what? Ariana Grande, you are a beautiful woman, bro. Like, we have some tequila in our system. I might edit that out. I might not. You know, 2021, we're not apologizing about shit. This man turned so crazy.
You like that Russell Westbrook meme where he's sweating, looking around the corner?
Oh my goodness! But that's what I saw. But I was more gonna say, the fact that people just need to get over themselves in terms of just realizing that people grow up. That's it with that. And I'm excited to see her really take on more adult roles, because how she was able to transform into an addict, spoiler alert for the people that haven't watched Euphoria, but I mean, like, that's the premise of the show, so I don't think it's much of a spoiler. But it's like how she was able to transform into like a genuine addict for that show. And you see other roles she's played, like in Spider-Man and etc. It's just so interesting seeing her range at this young of an age, because she really knocks these roles out of the park. Like, she really gave us like an outstanding performance in Euphoria, like an outstanding performance. So it just made me more excited to see her take on.
And I feel like everything she does is kind of relevant, because like again, I feel like certain people will be ruining these movies and specials before I ever watch them. You know, just getting on social media. But if it does what I think it's going to do, I feel like it's going to be nice, especially for the situation that probably a lot of people have found themselves in, trying to be like getting intertwined with people during this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of situationships.
And exactly. But then, like, one of the last current things I want to say, and this is just giving a shout out to women in general, because fuck it, I wasn't going to talk about it, but I got to talk about it on me, bro. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Go ahead, dude. I had to think for a whole 0.3 seconds before I realized what he was going to say.
One of the greatest things that happened since the year 2000 on the internet is the Busted Challenge, by the way. But that's it. Y'all go look if you want to look. There's a lot of, great people of all creeds, backgrounds, colors, ethnicities in general, sizes, bodies, all of that, like going crazy.
We appreciate them all.
For sure. We appreciate them all except for you niggas. But there was one male.
Hey man, I'm gonna make a Busted Challenge, dude, but I'm gonna do it.
I mean, you was just talking about your dump truck earlier. So
Bro,
I guess
I know. You see the vibes my man's on right now. He's acting different.
Nah. See, this nigga say I'm acting different with the cameras rolling. Earlier, the camera wasn't even on. This nigga was like, Chuka, by the way, I really think I got a dump truck.
I didn't say it like that.
I was like, what, nigga? A dump truck?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I said it like that at all. But at the end of the day, if y'all know me, you know what I'm saying, I got a little bit more than the regular person. Do it that way you will. Do it that way you will. That's all I'm saying.
His hips don't lie. He was ready to go. He was dead ass about that Busted Challenge too, bro. He was about.
I'm not doing all that. No, I never said all that. But I'm gonna do a spin on it, and we're gonna make it relevant. Actually, go ahead and go to my TikTok and follow me at as go offer on TikTok.
Are we doing all the promos today?
On everything.
All right, but just moving right along from like the Busted Challenge, because that's all I really wanted to say. I just wanted to give a shout out to the young ladies out there. But
Lori Harvey, do a Busted Challenge for us.
One thing, fuck it, bro. This is
she's in a relationship,
bro. Lori Harvey,
fuck her.
Fuck her being in a relationship, bro. That's just showing off what you've got, showing off what you were blessed with. It has nothing to do with courting anybody else.
Bro,
it has nothing to do with disrespect.
B. Jordan do all these roles, shirts off, and all these things.
I've never seen
he's in a relationship.
I've never seen Michael B. Jordan with a shirt on. So Lori, you can continue to post half naked. I promise you, equality is what we're fighting for, baby girl. But
that and only that.
You think Lori Harvey might be one of the first like pieces of generational talent I've ever seen like shoot her way into Hall of Fame talks this quickly?
I'm not gonna lie, it took the world by storm. It feels like the shot her around the world. Damn near.
Genuinely, it feels like some One Piece shit. Like, I feel like when Lori Harvey hit the scene was kind of like when Gold Roger got killed.
There's mystique around her. Gold Roger got killed, the whole world got shook. Lori Harvey got on the scene and everybody was just, who the fuck
Everyone had to pay attention. Like, who the fuck is this nigga? Like, that shit was crazy as hell. But Lori, you continue doing what you're doing for sure.
We'll leave that for another time.
Mm-hmm. And a big shout out to You want to get into Offspace talks?
Yeah, man. Let's go ahead and get into it.
All right.
Actually, and it's funny because I was going to ask you something that I remember I kind of already dropped a little bit, but we didn't really get into because, I want to save it for the podcast. So we should get into that at some point.
This nigga James Harden about to take over New York City, by the way, because we see how he runs around when it comes to.
We're gonna have to stop. Is this like relevant basketball or is this like outside James Harden stuff? Because we can talk about outside James Harden stuff now, but if we're gonna talk about basketball, let's say it for like a sports section.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
So James Harden got traded to the Nets. That's cool. And fuck basketball. Whoa. This nigga going to the state of New York, right? Mm-hmm. He's going to Brooklyn, which is also, you know what I'm saying, cool town, cool city, whatever. But I mean, like, there's an infamous uptown scene when it comes to New York City, right? Mm-hmm. And some of the most famous bottle girls in the world, some of the most famous, hosts, like all of this stuff. We've seen the likes of Bernice, which took the world by storm. This lady's a grandma now in her 40s, still looking absolutely delicious. I've never seen it. She taught her daughter right.
40s can't be a grandma.
No, it's crazy. She is a grandma.
Oh, she actually
is a grandma.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm over here trying to cape for God knows what my view.
Yeah, most gorgeous grandma on the planet. But anyways, like some all-stars have come out of that New York scene. And we see how James Harden performs when he goes to those popping cities, right? And sometimes, shouts out.
Wish it was Atlanta.
Shouts out to the guy on Reddit that actually busts down a whole graph about James Harden's performance in correlation to how good the strip clubs are in each city. That's incredible, by the way. I love bored people.
Wait, when he drops, like when he has bigger games, the strip clubs are more popular?
No,
because it's just everything. I might book a flight out to Brooklyn.
It's just like seeing like when James on the road is at a city with more poppin' strip club scene, his performance seems to tank in regards to him going to cities where he goes and just like kills niggas in cities where he'd be bored.
Man's in Milwaukee. Of course he's gonna drop buckets.
He's gonna kill in Milwaukee, bro. All you have to do in Milwaukee is hoop. Like, what the fuck? They had to find a square beside the Supermax for 5 years.
This man wakes up at 2 p.m. for a 3:30 game on a Sunday.
What the fuck? It's Milwaukee.
I don't know.
But so shouts out to Harden there. But just moving right along from that, I think it's time for us to get into some Offspace stuff. But before we recount our journey, shouts out.
Let's do a little bit smaller than last time.
What, bro? We just getting started.
We just getting started.
We got plenty of tequila. We got the Don down there just in case. You heard me?
We were supposed to do this every 10 minutes. So I'm happy we didn't do that now. Don Julio exclusive. Not sponsored. Will be soon.
Nah, I only want to get sponsored by brands owned by black people. So we'll be looking for sure.
Hey, if there's any black own tequila businesses out there, I'd love to sample some products. So go ahead and reach out to the Offspace at gmail.com.
At the Offspace podcast at gmail.com. Or is it just the Offspace at gmail.com? I need to know our email. That's
now that you actually said that it's supposed to be
let's just take the shot. They're not paying attention. Let's just take the shot.
Yeah. Right. Salud.
Salud. Yeah. Yes, sirski. Ooh, that was smooth. Oh, so smooth. Anyway, so
you taking the shots is hilarious.
Shout out to Patron.
I'm so happy that honestly, like me being corny as hell, like my freshman year of college, and like, I want to be one of those guys that likes liquor. That's so lame. Don't force yourselves to do that. It's gonna probably. I came out of it unharmed, but most people don't. So, but I've come out with unique abilities to where I can pretty much drink any type of liquor now and not feel phased. So that feels good.
Yeah, I don't feel phased when I drink liquor either. To be fair, you feel me?
Ciroc sponsorship coming soon.
Anyways.
All right.
So moving right along, time to get into Offspace shit.
I'm going to go ahead and start off with this. So I was watching a podcast from one of the dudes that used to be a Kick Genius and everything, House now and whatnot, Jet Jones. And he was talking to a woman that they brought on that's a friend of theirs. And I can't remember her name, which feels bad, but she was referencing a podcaster that she listens to and how that woman decided that every year, the way that she lives out her year, she'll pick a word to define what that year is. And so,
okay, go hard.
I thought to myself, instinctively, I feel like I do that. But now that I'm aware of the concept, because I'll do that and maybe keep it for 6 months and switch on to something else. Now that I'm aware of the concept, what I want to live this year by? And I want to ask you, what would you want to live this year by?
You go first.
And so, for me, I think what I would want to live this year by is consistency. I feel like I'm somebody who's always been relatively consistent on the path of like doing what they want to do. As we talked about earlier in things, I don't ever really seem to stray too far off my path for too long. However, I'm somebody who wants to accomplish a lot. So I can always be on that path, but how well I stay on it, I want to be operating at a high octane, high efficiency level more consistently throughout the year. So I know I'm somebody who can like stay healthy, who can stay like diligent, who can do all these things, and it really doesn't feel like much effort for me personally. But I want to take it to that next level and be consistent at a higher level. So I'm trying to be like, I'm not trying to put up like rookie year numbers and, you know, just be okay with that. I'm trying to operate at MVP level for the whole year straight. And so that's mine. I want consistency.
Honestly, and I know like how I'm framed sometimes in certain arenas, so this may be like funny or this may be like whatever. But like in all honesty, like if I had one word to frame how I want 2021 to look for me, it would be captain. And captain is just because like we're at the helm of this Offspace ship. You know what I'm saying? And it's you're at the helm of your life. I'm a first sibling, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm a first son in my family. Like there's just so much, like I'm a middle cousin to be honest, but I mean like I feel like a lot of pressure has been placed on me since birth. And it took me a long time to, and actually shout out to AJ.
Oldest cousin that was born.
Oldest cousin born in America.
In America, sure. From at least mom's side.
For sure. And yeah. I think both thinking about it. Who?
I don't think so. Few on dads. Direct Agatha and everything. No, I feel like that's just one of the conversation. Okay.
Yeah. But regardless, it's just like I've always been kind of placed in the boss position, the boss role, like kind of pushed there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I think like genuinely shouts out to AJ, by the way, because she sent me like this really, really dope, like a few excerpts from a book she was reading about this whole thing and the pressure you get thrown onto you. And in all honesty, I'm never going to blame anybody in my life for like how my life's gone, because I'm so happy for the mentality I have now. And without like the ups and downs, without the pressure, without the bullshit, like I never would have gotten to where Chuka is at this moment. Yes, I may be more like financially successful. I'd probably be the doctor motherfuckers thought I would be, or the surgeon. But it's like I never wanted to really do that shit. So I'm happy that I failed as much as I did to lead me right there. So that's first and foremost. But I mean, whether it comes to being a captain, I'm happy that through all of the bullshit I've gone through, I was able to reimagine what that word means to me and what I want that word to mean and how I want Chuka the captain to look like. Yeah. Like when I start captaining the ship, when I start becoming the field general, like the person that can really like push things forward and can really get shit done. Because at the end of the day, like when it comes to my personal ship, right? When it comes to like my goals and the things that I do, like we make it like One Piece type of shit. Like I consider myself Gold Roger, and I consider this nigga like my Riley, like my Raleigh, right? Yeah, but I know in his shit, that's not how it goes, he's the protagonist in his story, of course. Yeah. But I'm saying like when I look at it myself, like everything else, and it's like being able to like keep that mentality and really be able to like foster the environment that I desire to foster through my own actions, through my own discipline, through my own words, through my own motivation, through everything that I can really push forward in the grown-up that Chuka wants to be. I don't want to be a surgeon, right? I don't want to be an engineer. I don't want to be these certain things, but I do know that I do know where I want to end up in life. I do know how I want that to look. I do know that I will always be a natural born leader and I will continue to lead. And I do know that in order to lead, you need to put yourself in a position where people will follow. Right. And my words have always done that for me rather easily. But this is the year that I want to fully become the captain and where my actions match up so that it's undeniable. Because if you get to a certain point, you are undeniable. Yeah. And people either have to just like, you're either with me or you're in my way type shit. Like I'm never going to look at it that direct, because obviously like the environment we wanted to build on the Offspace is to foster everybody and be all inclusive and everybody's form of creativity and the things that you love. But that's definitely the word I want to use as captain.
So you know what, that was really nice, man. I'm happy you were able to kind of just create that for yourself, but reflect on what that means to you, because I feel like that's powerful. And we're somebody who words mean a lot to us, and that could have been our upbringing. It's a lot probably attributed to our upbringing, but it's something that's held value even like growing up. So being able to define that, put it into words, and kind of carry that forward, I really appreciate that I found that idea, and I'm gonna make sure, and I don't know about you, to actually see that like followed through for the year.
Absolutely. I have 3 things I want for the year. Yeah. Like minus all of the shit we've already talked about. I told you I want a dog, I want a new car, and I want a new apartment. And that's going to take a lot of discipline. It's going to
Yeah.
take a lot of fixing to get all that shit done. But I promise you by the end of 2021, all 3 of those things are going to be checked off.
Oh, that's dope.
So, I mean, I'm not tripping on it. Like, we're fixing shit. January's, we have our plan. You've already looked at it. We'll get into that. But
Zero Dark 30, y'all.
Oh, for surely. But moving right along, let's just talk about the Offspace, man.
It's been a while. It's been a long time coming, I know. For people who may have just started listening or not have been listening for too long, I want to go ahead and do a little bit of a Offspace history. To be fair, this might be a place where you remember better than me because
I don't remember how we started, if you're about to ask.
I
truly don't remember.
just about to ask you that because I know the kind of the idea of how we started, but I don't remember like what we were just thinking like, all right, fuck it, let's do it. Like what really sparked for episode 1 with the George Bush cover and like holidays or whatever it was. What really sparked that? Because I remember we'd always have these long-winded conversations on like FaceTime and just really be getting into it. Sometimes there'd be spectators that are like, are y'all really that passionate about the shit that y'all are talking about? Like having these conversations.
There you go, bro.
Nothing.
This is how it started for me, right?
Okay.
And this is the I don't want to dignify certain people with names just because of current situations, and I don't want to blow the spot up. But I mean, I'll say Taylor. So I was sitting at a Starbucks with Taylor, right? Taylor and another person, and we were having a conversation, and I was just speaking, and then I noticed this was years ago. This was, I think, this was like right before we started Offspace, actually.
Yeah, because 2017
2017 we started. It was 2017 but late.
Nah, because it was
that's what the start of my relationship, I think.
Late 2017, like late 2017, like December, November-ish. Yeah. Or like January 2018. It was like about that.
Right about there, but right before I was having a conversation at the Starbucks.
Because it was at Baker.
No, it was at Baker, 100%. But I was having this conversation at the Starbucks, and I remember like speaking to Shorty, getting passionate and talking, but I remember like it was outside. It was kind of like it was one of those Georgia days where it was not supposed to be warm, but it was warm outside. Motherfuckers were all sitting outside of Starbucks in the little avenue like in Peachtree City, and I remember there was like a bunch of people just like watching us talk, right? And they were just watching us talk. They walked over, and dude ended up like a couple people ended up asking for my information, asking for my name, asking for this. Cool. I've always noticed my whole life for some reason, and this isn't like to downplay myself because I'm someone that will never downplay my talents, but this is just like when it comes to like not really, sometimes things pick you before you pick them, right? And like my whole life I've noticed the ability to captivate audiences and to be able to like hold audiences' attention or just be entertaining, be funny, whatever. And so this was just a moment where I was like, fuck, all right, like the podcast industry is booming. Let me talk to my brother about it, because I've had the same thing happen, whether it be us on FaceTime, because we FaceTime each other damn near every day if we're not around each other, or us on Discord. Like we'll even have like Discord homies like almost be like a spectator audience to like shit that we're getting into. Going on, And so I feel like you definitely have similar, because we've talked about it. You have similar points where you've seen people captivated by your.
It's not even just to see people captivated, because at the end of the day, and in the least cocky, because I'm not a cocky guy. Honest to God, I know sometimes I'll make jokes that will come off a certain way, which I don't even feel like happen that much, or people want to take my character a certain way. I'm a pretty humble guy, I like to imagine, and.
This nigga say he humble?
But I just always believe if I want to do something and I want to do it well, there's going to be people who like it. So that's like the least of my concerns. It's just like, am I doing what I want to do at the level I want to do it? For sure. And so that being said, I knew since like 2014 I wanted to have a podcast. I just didn't know what it was going to be on. It was kind of like with YouTube. I was just procrastinating, kind of like telling myself, oh, I have to do this and not starting this, that, and the third. But it got to the point where I remember, because I've always been like really into music. It just wasn't really like hip hop, right? Like I always liked rap and shit, but my range was like bigger than that. And like I really just enjoyed like more like pop and like classical shit, like random things like that people wouldn't expect, because like I was in band and stuff. And so I remember going into college though and really diving into it more, and especially at this time, because late 2017, early 2018 is like the stoner phase. And so
our niggas was smoking.
That was when like bro at that point we
smoked
like,
ourselves useless. Let's be honest. If we're gonna talk about the Offspace, we have to talk about that.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that. But at this point, I was like listening to so much rap. It was ears to like the street, just like the ground. Like any new artist even thinks about making music, I heard it. I heard it, and so it was nice because I knew the only other media person in my life that even thought somewhat similarly, or like in the sense of had like those interests, was my brother Chuka. So I could call him up on FaceTime and we'd be talking and be like, hey, you heard this? Have you heard this? Or like, what do you think about this? Or like, I'd spend like a whole day, because this is back in time you didn't have not shit to do. I spent like a whole day going through like Jay-Z's catalog. It's like, bro, I just went through Jay-Z's catalog. Like, what'd you think about the Black Album? Like, what'd you think about this? Like, all this stuff. And it's just like, just having these like conversations. And that's kind of what made me think, look, at the end of the day, it's now or never. If you want to do something, you just do it and you quit making excuses. And you could suck ass, which we did at first. We were fucking awful. But we went ahead and actually did it and got it started because we were like both passionate enough to actually just have these conversations and record it. Because that's when I thought I was trying to be a little producer. And I bought all my equipment to get that taken care of for us at first.
Bro, and even it's funny because I remember like going into like the podding. I remember one of the biggest influences early, at least for me, like it's definitely changed now. And I don't want to be disrespectful in the slightest bit. I don't want to be disrespectful in the slightest bit just because I know that it's just a continuation of this. But I don't want to be disrespectful in the slightest bit because I know that interests have changed and I've kind of strayed away from them as much as I used to be like just a huge fan. And I'm still a fan, for sure. It's just now that I've been deeper into the world of podcasts, I tune into a lot more and I found things that click more in interest. Yeah. But that being said, like when we started this podcast, like, yeah, I'll be real. Just like when Drake first started rapping, he was a Jay-Z clone before he became Drake, you know, like just like Wayne with a few people, just like Thug with a few people. It's like podding is an art form. And like when we first got on, I was trying really to make this the Joe Budden podcast, but like the Ezgo and Chuka version of the Joe Budden podcast.
And the thing, I was completely unaware because I didn't even listen to Joe Budden. I just knew he liked it so much, and he would say certain things. I'm like, oh, this nigga think he Joe Budden again. But I don't know. Like, it was funny.
Sure. That was definitely like that podcast. I would definitely give their flowers and like consider like the OGs of like the reason that I got into this shit, just because I was able to like through listening to them think like A, this is possible, B, see where we are, because I was lucky to be a part of every big social online movement at or about where its inception was, whether it be the MySpaces, the Tumblrs, the YouTube when it first started, like all of this shit. Shouts out to Daniel really putting us onto that shit like early. But like just being able to kind of gauge, like, all of this shit is cyclical.
Wasn't that kind of crazy?
It's super crazy. But all of this shit is cyclical. So, bless you. Thank you. But all of this shit is cyclical. So, like, I kind of saw where podcasting was, and seeing how they were doing it, I was like, just like the first person to create a song that was beat, hook, beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first person to do this, like, their format became like a blueprint that I felt like we can make into our own thing completely and make it into us, and then just run with it and always give credit. I'm never going to lie about where that shit came from and be real. And so seeing how early we were though in that podding world, because once again, a lot of y'all niggas talk about podcasts. We're 100 in, baby. Like 100 in is a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's consistency.
We're reflecting on episode 50 a year ago. That was episode 50 a year ago. Like, that was episode 50 a year
100
ago.
episodes at about an hour each episode. Can a nigga live? Like, y'all have to be able to talk about when niggas can do this shit.
Speaking of which, if y'all made it this far, go ahead and follow us on all social media.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Yes, sir.
At the Offspace podcast. If not, as at the Offspace, you'll find us.
But like, one of the early things is like, I'll speak about a little bit of the ups and downs, and I'll ask you, because I want to hear your opinion on some of the things that kind of, you know,
got us to where we are.
Got us to where we are. Like, when we first started, I was a little pompous, I will admit.
For sure.
And you were a little pompous, for sure.
I don't know about that.
No. In our assumption of the fact that we could do this stone.
Oh my
goodness. We did like 20 something odd episodes. Like, low key niggas is on like 120, 100, damn near 100, whatever.
This isn't really episode 100, that's but fine. For all intents and purposes.
And so like, we kind of deleted the first season all the way, other than maybe like, I think we have one episode up just as memories, just so we can like reflect back. Just because they were so horrible. Like, we couldn't we couldn't pay attention. We had no flow of combo.
Understatement, because I distinctly remember, because we used to record in my room over at my old place.
I may include some video on the Offspace
of like
Insta, of like the old like cramped space, because my ex like recorded a little video of us like cramped up like recording.
Bro,
shit.
What? I'm so happy we have that. Looking back now in the moment, I was like, don't record this shit. Like, you see
I'm
this?
so happy. That was one positive thing that she did for sure. Like I was so happy she captured that, because that was important.
It was the fact that I remember being in this space, having this whole conversation with you. You were talking for minutes, like it was a while. And after you stopped, I just couldn't remember a thing, because my mind was just like, bro, I've been having a whole nother conversation with myself off of this gas. Like I was more ready to ask you what we were smoking than what was the response to the question.
Nigga.
Yeah.
Like one thing, a lot of people forget that this is an art form, right? And all things that go into the realm of linguistics are an art form.
Yeah.
And so me and this motherfucker have been like, whether it be like when it was Lil Bro and I was younger and he was younger and he was my little clone, to like him becoming like the most individual. Like people don't realize like me and this nigga are nothing alike. Like we have a lot of similar interests because of the fact that like we're reasonable people. For a lot of them are just like reasonable people interests. Or B, it's just like, yes, we were influenced in similar environments and influenced by a lot of the same things.
But we're pretty different.
We are fucking different. But during that time of like, whether it be like way back when I thought you were my little clone and like these little shits, and we like grew and changed, like me and this man have thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of speaking to each other. Obviously we lived in the same household, grew up, so we thought it would be the easiest thing in the world to jump into doing a fucking podcast together. Nigga, one of the hardest things we had to learn was flow of conversation.
Because it's funny, because I think the understatement is the fact that we had to learn the flow of conversation. That's understating it. It's the fact that we've talked to each other growing up in the household, but like I feel like as you get into your 20s, you work out shit with your family that you never knew was there until like you made it to that point that you had to learn how to do to become more effective as a unit and just like better at communicating with each other. But B, we were starting a podcast with each other with, I know you have a major ego, which I'm not trying to underplay, but at the same time, I had a little bit of an ego.
No, don't. See, I love how this nigga playing shit, bro. I know how this nigga playing shit, bro. This nigga said, I know you have a major ego, by the way. He said have a major ego. Then he said had a little bit of an ego.
No.
My dick.
I definitely had an ego, but it was more so there was issues and like things that we had to overcome just on podcasts that if y'all really go back and listen to some of these podcasts, you're like, bro, is this live? Like, are these niggas like really beefing right now? It's like, cause I couldn't stand this nigga at times. I'd be like, bro, what's wrong with you?
I'd be like, who the fuck is this nigga?
But it was just like learning things that we had to kind of work with and get around and like accept and blah, 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 and just like practice. So like at this point, past the fact that, because I don't know about you, but this is something I'd actually reason to ask you too. I understand on the podcast we've practiced better flow of conversation and understanding each other to where we can make conversations more effective with like knowing our kind of speaking styles and things like that. But past that, I feel like it's almost like transcended itself into our regular conversations, you know? Because I feel like our regular conversations got improved, like just the efficiency and like the ability of because of our podcasting.
Oh, for sure. And like, to be completely honest with you, like I thank God every day for the podcast because of the fact that, I mean, let me get on my emotional tip for 2 seconds, but it's like,
about to cry.
It's like, this is my best friend and my brother. Like,
Damn,
this
bro.
is the closest person to me on this planet, and he knows that, and we have to just be real about some of these things. And knowing this, it's just like, the fact that it was a struggle, like really this pod almost ended so many times. Like people don't understand, like we've had a lot of fighting on the like outside of it. We've had a lot of ups, we've had a lot of real downs where this shit has been difficult to do. But like once again, like you heard me, there's no other person on this planet I'd rather walk through life with than this person sitting right next to me. And so like the fact that we were able to appreciate it, my guy, but the fact that we were able to like rally together and like figure out these things, because yes, I had certain things I needed to work on, and I think this podcast in turn ended up making me a better man in general, because like yes, to be fair, like I'm a very confident individual, and that is an understatement, because sometimes it does dip into the realm of narcissism, like just being real. Like I know sometimes I might be a bit narcissistic, and sometimes I may be a little bit overzealous, and I may be a little bit extra, but like being able to identify these things and being able to work through them with somebody I love for real, like that I'm never going to stop loving, I think was the reason that I was able to get better in these realms, right? Like, I don't think I was a good listener before this podcast, being real. Like, I think it was in one ear, out the other. Like, I never really, because I swore I was a good listener.
It's funny because
I could
I'm on
smile.
the other side, so I can, like, confirm that you weren't. But it's funny because I know you've gotten better.
Because I used to feel like, yo, I'm at least in the vicinity of them talking, so that's a good listener. But that's not really listening.
No. Listening is like not formulating a response before they finish and letting them get whatever they need to off their chest. Plus, I feel like there's probably things that you've noticed I've gotten better at. For sure. To be fair, like
presenting yourself. Yeah. And like you've gotten better at presenting yourself in general. You've gotten better at opening up, because like every one of my exes probably thinks I'm a closed off motherfucker because I didn't learn how to deal with my emotions.
Every woman I've talked to, except for probably one,
is a shut door.
Besides,
they think I'm closed. This nigga a shut door, and so I think he's gotten better though. I think honestly, it's helped him like watching me, because once I got better at expressing my emotions, I felt more comfortable in terms of just like, hey, none of y'all niggas can beat my ass, so there's nothing y'all can hold against me.
That's not the motivation.
Just being real. I'm being honest. Like, none of y'all niggas can beat my ass. I'm a deadpan look at the camera and say this shit because I mean it. Anyways, and so because I really mean that, like, there's nothing y'all can hold against me when it comes to this podcast shit. So I'll always bare my soul. And yes, there's certain things that you should probably remain under wraps, and there's certain things you shouldn't talk about. And we are still learning the balance there. But I think you seeing me just like really bearing my soul sometimes has helped you, and you can change me if I'm wrong, right? But I think because I've seen you become better at expressing yourself and really like opening up more.
No, for sure. Like, dude, I'm gonna be honest, because at the end of the day, I've seen what it means not to, and to have that shit backfire on you, and I've seen what it means to, and have that shit rewarded or not rewarded, but at least you sort shit out. And it's just like, I learned a lot from the ability to witness that. But like the ability to practice it, from letting myself vulnerable on this stage, to where when I put that out, even if like things don't go well, like on my own personal tip, you know, from me to you, like, you know what goes on in my life, even if things don't go well, blah blah blah. It's the fact that I leave these situations relieved though. I leave this situation satisfied because I know at the end of the day, I said what I needed to say. I put myself out there. I'm not afraid of awkward conversations. I'm not afraid of like putting my heart on the line anymore. I'm not afraid of like being me, because if people don't like that, then fuck them. Like, not fuck them, but fuck them. You know, like, I don't know how else to say it, but
genuinely though, because at the end of the day, like, dog, like, exactly like you were saying, it's y'all are gonna feel me. That's it. Like, regardless of what room I walk into, regardless of the big names in there, the small names in there, regardless, I'm going to be felt in every single room I walk into in my life. And that's because I've chosen the beaten path of being 100% genuine and 100% authentic at all times. And I'm going to be me regardless of the situation.
One's tough. That one's tough. Super because tough. You be wanting to cringe out your skin at some points, knowing that you got to say some shit in situations you don't even want to. But it's like, I'm going to be a real one. I'm going to say it. I'm going to do what I got to. And I'm going to operate as such, because if I don't, I'm going to get some sleepless nights. So,
exactly. It's just loving the people, like, not moving on, but just continuing, because this is an Offspace whole segment. It's like, sorry, the tequila's getting nigga, but it's like being able to speak about your real experiences, being able to bare your soul, because my favorite music that I ever listened to, which I believe the one example I want to use is The Heart Part 2 by Kendrick Lamar. It's just like when you feel music that you could tell a piece of somebody's soul is in this music, right? Then that music lasts with you for the rest of your life. And there's music that is popping, there's music that'll make you laugh. But one thing I always say, and I just recently had this argument with somebody, it's just like, you guys think music is so microwave this time, you think music is this, but think about the top 3 people in every single genre. The top 3 people in every single genre have substance.
Like, did I tell you this shit? I talked to you about this conversation.
No, we had this conversation too. And it's just like, people say, oh, rap is microwave, rap is this. The top 3 rappers right now are J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and Drake. All of them have substance in their raps. So yes, there are moments that so many others can have, but the most things that are going to persist are when you put a piece of you into it, always. And so that's how I feel about all forms of art. And when it comes to this podcast, I view it as art. And so I'm going to always put a piece of my soul in there when I have a chance. because regardless of if this becomes the biggest thing in the world, which God willing, you know what we're working towards, we're not ever sitting back and waiting for this shit not to do shit for us. Amen, amen. But it's whenever this shit like goes or whatever it ends up doing, like regardless of the fact, I want to be 50, I want to be 60 years old, sitting like still smoking, because I know this nigga gonna quit eventually. But it's like, we'll quit all the way. I
was about to say, because like
to be honest, because he sure has. But it's like I'm gonna be 60 with my blunt lit, sitting in this nigga basement, annoying the shit out of him, playing old clips and just showing pieces of our soul that we have given this world, and that's enough to be proud of itself, you know,
bro. And it's like, I feel like what I really appreciate, and the fact that I'm starting to be more, and it also going back onto what you're saying about being able to open up and express yourself and put a piece of yourself in something that you do, which I'm hoping that a lot of people, as we're getting older and starting to realize your legacy and things like that, start to kind of search for that in their jobs, even if like, you know, your job isn't going to necessarily show like, oh, this person did this, but it's like you look at something that you worked on, you're passionate about. It's like, I made this come to life. I'm hoping that you can start to put a piece of your soul into what you're doing, because I want to be able to look back in 70 years type shit and be like, damn, like, and this is I really did this shit. Exactly. And that's just it. It's going to be immortalized. Like, regardless if I get, like, in the years 2072, like, we have 3 listeners to, like, our episodes, or shit, people are, like, listening in thousands still for some reason, you know? It's like, the fact that it's out there that anybody can just refer back to, like, these niggas existed, that shit is crazy to me.
Isn't it, bro?
I'm about to pour up to that. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. It's the next one.
Yes, sir.
It's the next one.
What time are we at? Bro, it don't even matter. It do not matter. Hey. But it's like, bro, like, thinking about it, dog, like, I can almost cry, to be honest, because I've become a soft-ass nigga in that regard.
Yeah, you don't have to be big ones on these. Sure.
No, for sure. We're trying to chill out a little bit. But I've become a soft-ass nigga in this regard, to where I really do think about the future a lot. And I know that is important to me, because I care about the youth and I care about our future. Cheers, my brother. But it's like, just thinking about the fact that in like 100 years, we're long gone. Like, well, I won't say long. Niggas want to live for a long ass time.
I'm planning on making it to 100. Sure, 3 decades type shit. 103.
You know this, but it's like, imagine like 100 years from now,
3 decades, 3 centuries,
like 100 years from now, like a nigga is really going through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, really going through it. They can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and the one thing that they randomly do is like their YouTube recommended or some shit like that. It's like an Offspace video. They accidentally click it, and it just changes his whole life, changes his whole perspective, like, because of a piece of us that we put in there. It's just like, knowing that these moments are immortalized, bro, like, really can get me fucked up, because like, that's all I ever want to do. That's 100%. All I ever want to do. I don't want to be a billionaire myself personally. I don't want to be the flashiest human being on the world. Please don't get it fucked up. I love nice things, but it's like, I don't want to be like the flashiest person on the world. I don't want to like be president. I don't want to like take over this, take over that. I want to take over the entertainment industry for damn sure. But it's like, one thing I do always want to do is like truly, which I've started to notice this imprint on people. So I'm gonna talk my shit about myself for one second.
Talk your shit, man.
But it's like, I have started to notice that a lot of people really do rely on my genuine energy. And what I mean by that is, a lot of people seem to, through just the 27 years I've lived, all of the struggles, all of the bullshit, and the mentality and the way that I've changed and the things that I've turned into when it comes to this beast that I've turned into. Because I was a piece of shit. I know I was a piece of shit. Nigga had a God complex. I flexed on my family crazy till about 18, 19, which people don't really listen to until like you really get testimony from my siblings. Like, it wasn't as peaches and roses. We've always been close, yes, but we've been like a different kind of close. You know, we've been close by proximity, because we lived in the same household, kind of close. We became like blood bonded, like for real, in our 20s. And like in like my 20s, I'll say.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I feel like for each sibling, I had different years where it solidified. I'm not saying like I was never gonna have these niggas, but you know what I'm talking about.
No, I know exactly what you mean.
Different years where each person was like,
I remember the moment for Chi-Chi. I remember the moment for Uzama. I remember the moment for you, like for real. And so like this bond, like this was blood, sweat, and tears. This took some time to get to, but it's like when it comes to like my friends, I could see the sparkle in their eyes, or just like the looks in certain talks that we have. Whether it comes to just random people I talk to at events, whether it comes to the people I mingle with, just like little shit like that. I know what I gain from other people, and I know what I can give other people just through simple conversation. And it's like that shit lights such a fire under my ass to become the monster, the dog that I want to be, because I can only imagine how many other people on this planet I can help out just because I failed. And that is beautiful to me. And
you
that is
failed being yourself, because that's the key words. I feel like you don't, and I'm not trying to cut you off. I want you to keep on talking your shit, but it's like at the end of the day, I feel like that's the most important thing, because we'll see some of the most successful people in their own rights at our age, respectively, because most people on our age aren't gonna be in the position where they could already be a senator and shit. Like, there's age requirements. There's certain things that you're only gonna progress to at certain points. But where we're at, certain people are thriving for where they're at.
super thriving. What?
Crazy. However, I know people in these positions that aren't happy
because they're not themselves.
And so, like, it's when people really do appreciate surrounding themselves by others that are, no matter if they're fucking up or not, are being themselves, in the sense, I say fucking up or not, in the sense that they're still trying to do better, because you always want to surround yourself by people that want better for themselves. But like, people who want better for themselves but are always trying to be them, that shit is inspiring, because I know people that I have had personal testimonies from that appreciate that from me, that I'm like, bro, you're doing so much better than me in life right now. But that's not what's important, you know? And so it's like being able to give that back so that they carry that in their own lives and they become superstars in their own way. Even though I already think these people are, they take that and like transform that even to like a higher level. It's like, oh, if I think you're a star now, these people can become like even more if they just like make sure that they're doing it their way.
Exactly, bro. Like, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, that's what is the craziest and most beautiful thing about life. That's why I have the tattoos I have. That's why I'm going to continue this inspiration arm with the same like people that make me feel that feeling. It's like the sparkle in people's eyes that I've seen, the messages I've received from people, like the love I receive from people, like the way the world treats a nigga. And all I've done for 27 years is fucking fail and look those failures in the eye and say, you're not going to define me, and I know who I need to be.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to make me into the version of the person I need to be, because I know God's not going to put nothing in my life that isn't supposed to sharpen me and turn me into the dog I'm supposed to become. Like, the fact that in my eyes I feel that way, but seeing the way that I'm received, it makes me feel like I can only fucking get better every single day. And I have so many people that are yet to be touched. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it be in Nigeria, whether it be overseas, whether it be just around the United States, or whether it be really just in our immediate area in Atlanta, bro. Like, I'm ready to fucking do this, bro. And I know you are too.
And I feel like, you know, as we get to this point, it is pretty late. And I know there's other things we might need to talk about, especially to kind of spin off now or whatnot. But I know there might be a better time actually to come around. Now it feels good, but again, we are an hour and 10 minutes in. The people probably are wondering, what got us to this point? Because, like, you know, there's a lot of nature, and while niggas were born different, you know, I don't even want to say born different, because to be fair, I don't want to toot my own horn too much, because I feel like anybody could do whatever I do and more, like in certain veins. Some things obviously not, like you're given. Like, I'm a little bit taller than some people, and like that's not something you could really change. That's just like your predisposition. But most things people can just choose to do or choose not to do.
Amen.
So, that being said, I know some people do probably wonder, though, what led you to the point, or what were things that probably influenced who you are? Because I know at the end of the day, I have an unbreakable spirit, but what probably influenced that? I feel like I was a middle child, bro. Niggas don't understand. Middle children got it out the fucking mud. And not just a middle child, I was a dweeb. So, like, I was the middle child who loved comics and anime. My nigga, like, were there things that I couldn't fail at because, like, that was just constantly shown to me, and my parents. Like, between my parents, anime, and comics, and being a middle child, who was going to tell me I could lose?
See, I always envied you, though. I always envied you in that aspect, because you were a part of the generation, which was only a few years younger than me, of people, though, that it seemed like can truly be themselves and always be, like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was always admittedly, like, popular at, like, whatever school I've been in, whatever circles I've been in. But always, like, as a youth, as an adolescent, since you overthink these shits, even though, like, the older you get, the more you realize, like, the coolest thing in the world is being yourself. 100%. Which I'm so happy I have I'm exuding being myself at all times nowadays. But it's like throughout middle school, throughout high school, bro, I'd be the nigga like running from the book fair to my locker with my Shonen Jumps because I didn't want niggas to know I liked anime.
Bro, I'd be cutting it up with my friends about Naruto back in the day.
I had my little Dragon Ball Z drawing books hidden in the locker. Like manga, and if I'm reading manga at Books A Million, like bro, I'd be looking around the corner to see if any of my niggas was walking in for some reason. Bro, I was just so OD about hiding the shit. Didn't talk about video games the way I online MMO'd till late high school. So I always loved the fact that you were always pretty out there with the fact that this is me, this is what I do, and let's just get into it. But I mean, one thing I think that influenced both of us on the low, which is hilarious, is just actually the love of anime our whole lives.
Oh, for sure.
Like, I think
and the belief that niggas always really like, and it comes back to our egos a little bit. Even though you did love the edgy characters the most, on like you thought they were a cool tip, niggas always think they're the protagonist. So like you end up adopting a lot of those attitudes and behaviors because that's who you view yourself through, you know?
And it's like you can't really but we have both been people that have very much believed like you can't live this life. You know what I'm saying? You can't live, and everybody realizes there's leaders and followers in all situations in life. Duh. You know what I'm saying? Like the world wouldn't work. Everybody's just as important as anybody else because leaders are just as important as followers. But anyways, like I am somebody that has always been of the belief that I would feel crazy. I would feel actually insane if I was living a life that I wasn't the main character because it's my fucking life, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck?
That's a sad year 80, bro.
What the fuck? I could not imagine not being the main character of my own shit. So I'm trying to make myself the main character. I wake up every day looking at somebody else as the main character. That's why maybe
bro, if you wake up tertiary, it's like you gotta make every day lead you to that main spot.
Bro, that's why I've never really like that's why my list of people like we've talked about, and I know you have your own list as well. It's like of people that you really want to meet in this world or really look up to or really thought like it's like a weird list or it's like a short list because a bunch of people are dope and I would love to be in the room with a ton of these niggas, don't get me wrong, and just like meet on some like industry shit or just like really figuring out if I fuck with this person, blah blah blah. But list of people that inspire you, I'm never gonna lie about that shit because dog, I view myself as just as capable as Jay-Z. I view myself as just as capable as Andre 3000, Lil Wayne, Jeff Bezos, fucking Mark Zuckerberg.
The thing is, though, it's like, and you're saying a lot of names and a lot of successful names, but to be fair, I know those aren't even like some of the highest ones on your list.
No,
at least
none of them are on my list that I'm naming so far. I'm just saying I view myself as capable. So if you view yourself as capable, then yes, you think certain things are cool and they may inspire you in certain different ways. Don't get me wrong. Well, Hove's on my list. He recently joined my list, but no, he's been there. He's been a big inspiration in my life. So I just needed to stop lying to myself about how much of an inspiration he's been. So let me just be respectful there. But it's like the reason I use these names is just so people realize like we've said before on this podcast, bro, I'm about to talk to the homeless dude under the bridge on 85 the exact same way I would talk to Jay-Z. The exact same way I would talk to Zuckerberg. The exact same way I would talk to Drake. And that's because we've been raised in a household that fortunately has taught us the price tag and the amount of money in your bank account is never going to dictate the way I treat you and the way I respect you. And so thinking and viewing life like that, you have to be a special individual to like shift us. You know what I'm saying? Because you view everyone similarly and we feel like we can get shit from everybody. Right? And so like if I gave certain names, right, for me it'd be like my arm is going to be like I have Kobe, I have Nipsey, I'm getting Mac Miller, I'm gonna get AI because AI is the reason that I'm on this Be Yourself campaign as much as I've always been on this Be Yourself campaign. David Goggins is another big one for me because he's the one that inspired me in terms of just like recapturing my life because I got to 270, I got to extremely fat, I got to extremely out of shape, and it's no talking down once again on anybody else. It's just I know how much athletics mean to me and he helped me regain that in my life, and that's something invaluable to me. So David Goggins is the person that closes out that list for me. But then there's Hove, there's just like Drake, you know, like I have people I can go on and on about.
I know, like, and
so
even for mine, like to be fair, a lot of people got closed out of that list, which also makes you value life and realize when you got to do these shits now
for sure.
Because the Kobe, you can't do it. I know how much Kobe meant to you, but like we've talked about on the podcast, I'm not going to get into it too much. But you know how much Kobe meant to me at a point, especially when I was going through one of my worst times in life.
He was one
it was
of
a nigga like Kobe that like again like got my mental right to even make it through that, and like randomly. And the Mac Miller shit, obviously we can't do that, but that was very pivotal to just my whole childhood. But like, there's people past that are just important, and it's like obviously you don't know if they're going to be the best or the worst.
And
but
this
like,
isn't to cut you off, but since I am a little drunk and we are talking about Mac Miller, bro, still to this day, a top 5 moment in my life is us at that fucking Divine Feminine concert, bro.
What? I try and tell people. I feel like I can never describe to people the experience that shit was. Because I tried to, and I'm just like, that was my favorite concert I've been to.
Bro, I'm telling you,
and it's just like, it was a vibe the whole time. Good energy from everybody.
And this is
the vibe was different. Matt came in on some different shit, and I didn't even like the Divine Feminine before.
And this is an ex that I'm on cool terms with now. Like we don't speak all the time. We're not like the closest. Don't get me wrong. But it's like she came back and apologized because she was a little young at the time. Like whatever. But it's like I remember like even being texted by the girlfriend I had at the time saying it's me or the concert because she wanted to feel my attention. Bro, I texted her so quickly back, bro. It's the concert.
Like,
and then just put my phone on airplane mode and put it in my pocket because I was with my brother,
bro,
at one of the first concerts we got to experience as a grown-ups together. And it was Mac Miller, somebody I knew that was so important to both of us. I couldn't care less.
I've done that
about
once.
A fucking relationship.
I've done that once at Chance. Hey, you remember what it was over at Camp Floyd? Different, but Have me fucked up, but so, bro, I would love, honestly,
bro, we gotta take a shot to that. I'm sorry, this will be the last shot of the pod.
Yo, let's go ahead and take a shot to that. We'll go through my list and shit.
That's one of the funniest shits ever. But that Mac, I'm telling you, Esgo, on everything, that Divine Feminine concert is honestly to this day one of the top 5 moments of my life. Like,
bro,
with you,
I wouldn't blame you, bro.
That was my nigga,
man.
Oh, my nigga for sure.
100, bro. More life, more blessings to better music, more opportunities. Experiences for a lifetime. But what I was saying is just like, for me, bro, I would love to meet Barack because I gotta suss this thing out myself. But past sussing him out, it's like, bro, I know, and this is why I try not to shit on Kamala because I know her past. Barack didn't have the same past. We're not even gonna get into that. I'm not even gonna get into that,
bro. This nigga had no hoes at Harvard, bro. He was a black man. That was
no, he didn't. He had hoes. He was trying to make out a statement for other people who clearly didn't. That their worth isn't defined by the amount of women that they have. That being said, the inspiration. I'm a young black man sitting in that 6th grade classroom, seeing a black man get inaugurated as my president. Low key being salty because I wanted to be the first one, but also being happy because I was like, someone did it. Like, and knowing that you could accomplish anything in this world, and knowing his story, I need to meet him and Lil Uzi because Lil Uzi.
Right, actually, you gotta meet Uzi.
I feel like that man's authentically himself at all times, and that's all I've ever tried to do. So I gotta meet somebody who's just, I guarantee, is that. Past that, I don't have famous people I really want to meet like that because there are some that would be dope. I'm sure, like NBA, especially, just how big of a fan I am of that realm, like Braun. But I really want to.
One, I'm adding to both of our lists because we have to just be real about this. We have to be real. Drake's probably on both of our lists.
Oh, for sure.
Drake's
but for sure.
Nigga, we're the Drake Vengers. We here defending Drake every day.
This nigga not gonna Lil Bro me though. I'm gonna say that now.
He's never gonna Lil. Nobody's gonna Lil Bro me. We're gonna make that very clear.
But I'm gonna give Aubrey all of his flowers at all times because that man's the GOAT. Genuinely
the greatest of all time.
But past that, I need to travel the world at some point because I need to meet the 70-year-old monk who dedicated his life to this shit. I need to meet like the mother who put on for her kids up until like 60 years down the road in like living on like the river Euphrates or something. Like I need to really see these people and like hear their testimonies because honest to God, past like the few famous people I've named, that's the most important shit to me. Like these stories from these individuals that get overlooked but genuinely have some of the best defining characteristics of what make human beings as special as we are, as pure as they are. Like, if there's somebody with like 100% courage, I bet they're like overshadowed in one of these communities, you know? Sure, like there's some famous people that have probably shown that to like great extent, but I bet there's somebody like out in the Amazon, out in fucking Sudan, out in Nigeria that has shown that 10 times more and isn't being highlighted. I need to meet that person.
My nigga, what the fuck?
Like, at the end of the day, that means way more to me than meeting, no offense, than meeting like a Katy Perry. Like, I appreciate her and her music. And
when I was in middle school,
I don't know if she's racist, so I don't know if I'm like really gonna say right now, like, I'd really love to meet her. But I know she had some bangers when I was young. Like, I hope she's not a bad person.
I Kissed a Girl was a great song.
I don't know anything about her.
Because I kissed a girl and I really did like it. That changed. Honestly, y'all low key ruined my life, but it's okay.
Bro, you remember the day? I'm not gonna get into that now. That's the later talking. If I start saying some weird.
Bro,
shit,
remember the first day that you realized that women were gonna ruin your life? No, I'm being honest. On everything, like the first day I realized that women, like my life was over with. Like in terms of just like this category, I was gonna have to fight to dig myself out of this tunnel. Was in 3rd grade. Mm-hmm. Like in 3rd grade, when I realized that I truly just started learning how to fake sleep so that when mom and dad did the check, I'd be good and I'd be able to sprint out and go watch the Girls Gone Wild commercials at like 2-3 a.m. by myself. Bro. When I knew that I was already that dedicated to seeing titties, I knew my life was
okay, because I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. The fact that, and to be fair, I've changed as a person in the sense that I've become more reasonable, obviously. But the fact that I was even potentially on horny shit at like kindergarten, that's not a good sign.
What?
Like, is that a good sign? Is that kids even possible of that? Bro. Is that possible for kids?
I remember shouts out to Cindy Vo, by the way. I know I say you by name, but that was my kindergarten.
He said, I've been trying to find you for a minute.
That was my kindergarten sweetheart. You know what I'm saying? She taught me how to use chopsticks.
Hey, go ahead and dox yourself. What school was it? Go ahead.
No. We're not going to dox the like old private school, whatever. But I remember she taught me how to use chopsticks, and she bought me this little Vietnamese like game little shit like when she went to Vietnam with her family or whatever. Shouts out to the first girlfriend I ever loved. But I mean, like, I remember when I was that young, I remember bringing her into a bathroom as a kindergartner. And I remember seeing like the little fucking like MTV Spring Break shit, and I was like, "Oh, this is how you kiss girls." And like, bro, like fucking, bro, I was a nasty young nigga, bro.
I wouldn't say I was that bad, but I was definitely on my like. I really only was trying to be around women just the odd chance that like as a kid, like I don't even know, like when you're a kid, you're not seeing much, but like I remember me then, it was just like just being around them makes life better.
Oh, for sure. What women are the greatest thing ever created, my man. Like. And the day I figured that out, I knew that I needed to learn discipline, and I didn't until I was about 27. So
I learned discipline fast, to be fair, but that's because I feel like growing up in a place where that's racist.
I tried to turn around a cowboy hat just now. Just like my regular hat, I tried to just turn around a cowboy hat.
I'm not gonna shit on the place that I grew up, but like, I did grow up in definitely some racist times.
Draft day, Johnny Manziel. The Offspace, how am I the man still?
Hold on. Was it freestyle hours? If we're getting to freestyle hours, it's probably time to wrap the podcast.
Yeah, I was about to say, it might be time to wrap the podcast.
If y'all were able to listen to us rambling for this long, shouts out and we appreciate you. Episode 100 has been a blast. I don't know about you, my man, but I was happy to share the stage with you and to have this experience because like we've been here for a minute and it really means a lot to say that we've been doing this for 100 odd episodes. I don't know about you.
Honestly, like it's been a beautiful journey. It's been a journey that I would never want to be on with anybody else in this world. It's been a journey that I can't wait for 100 more. It's been a journey that we're only going to see more life, more wins, more success, more views, more choomp on your fucking head top. You don't know it. But that being said, it's just like, dog, in closing, I do want to say anybody that's made it this far, because it's definitely further than we, like, than... Obviously, you get
anticipated, but we've had episodes this long.
Of course, it's not bad, but it's like we will say this, and this will just be early for the people that hear it through audio tomorrow, and we are gonna make an Instagram post and do all that shit with it. We are doing a giveaway. We're doing a little $50 giveaway because niggas are not rich, but like a $50 giveaway to one of our viewers. We're gonna make a post that you just like, comment, and follow the Instagram account at the Offspace podcast.
I feel like people who made it this far should have something extra for it, but I don't know how to do like an extra.
No, this is what I'll say. I'll say since we're gonna do a random number generator and we're gonna like just take randomly people's names and have all of that shit with picking for the giveaway. The people that have made it this far into the podcast, just go ahead and DM us on Instagram and DM us the word flower. If you DM us the word flower, we're gonna give you two or three free entries, and then everybody else who just comments under the post and shares the post, whatever, they'll get a single entry. Right, but it's gonna be either a $50 or $100 giveaway. We're definitely gonna figure out, figure the details out of that shit.
Either way, y'all are coming up on some money. So
but y'all are coming up on some money. Do you have any last words to say? Like, my brother, like, honestly, I'm surprised that I made it this whole podcast without crying because
Bro, I've been fighting back the whole time.
I fought back earlier.
I'm an
not gonna lie to
emotional
you.
ass
I'm
dude.
not
I
gonna
feel
lie.
like 20. I gotta stop saying I feel like 21 because 21 was reminiscent, really staying up late nights about being in the trenches with his niggas, bro. I'm just happy about being alive, like.
Bro, the joy that just being alive brings me lets me know that I can't fail because as long as I'm breathing, I will always push towards the successes that I want to
100%.
push towards. And so, like, your best friend, love you forever, always love you, my guy.
Same here, bro.
And I could not imagine being on this journey with anybody else. I could not imagine doing this with anyone else. I'm happy to have butt heads with you. I'm happy to have almost quit this with you. I'm happy to have gotten to the bottom with you. I'm happy to have been as low as we've been when we were in our little stoner phase and like all of this bullshit. Because how we're going to be looking in these penthouses, how we're going to be looking on these yachts, how we're going to be looking in these executive buildings together, like looking back on the cramped up little spaces and looking back in the bullshit that we've dealt with is going to be incredible. So that being said, my name is Chuka.
My name is Ezigo.
And this is the motherfucking Offspace podcast. Fuck these niggas. Shouts out to everybody. You heard
Everybody that's ever hated, stay tuned.
More life. We lit.